going to be speaking to you guys today is a very good friend of mine and my family. Grew up with us, and he played Sayville football, right? 3-year starter on the team, all-county player. Got a full scholarship to Fordham, Division I college, right? Ended up starting for them 3-4 years. Ended up senior year being an All-American, right? First team All-American. And but what he really wants to do is tell you guys about how Sayville football saved his life. All right? He wrote a book about it. Okay, his story is in these pages, and it's all about how his coaches and his teams saved his life, and he wants to talk to you guys and share his story. So, Steve Boris.
How you all doing? I found a spot where nobody's looking at my butt. How's everybody doing? Thank you so much for having me here. I can't tell you how special this is. To see the purple and gold again. I've been coaching for I don't know how many years, and nothing comes close to this. We tried to recreate it. You can't do it. And we'll start the story back in 1974 when I was born in the Bronx. Anybody here from the Bronx? The Bronx people? Just me. Well, we left the Bronx because in '74 it was on fire. So that was awkward, and we moved out to Long Island to live the idyllic life as me, my mom, my dad, and my little sister Janine. And we had the 1/4-acre lot, white picket fence. Everything's great till one tragic day on the Southern State Parkway, my dad dies in a car wreck. And from there, everything just starts going downhill. I never got over that. As I got older, I was flunking out of school. I was learning disabled. I was the chubby kid. I was being bullied mercilessly. And by the time I got to middle school, I was really looking into the abyss. I had no reason to get up in the morning. I wanted it all to end. What could my life be but pain? And my mom was a great mom. She was a crazy mom. My mom used to make the potatoes here. Who's the potatoes person? Who's in charge of the potatoes?
Yeah, we fired him. We fired him this morning, so he's
And my mom was probably like a lot of you moms. You love your kid unconditionally, right? And they're the most beautiful kid in the world. They're the smartest. There's nothing they can't do. And my mom was always my biggest fan. We'd sit up late at night. We're both insomniacs. And we'd have these midnight chats, and she says, "You're beautiful, you're great." I'm like, "You're crazy. How in the hell could I be anything that you're talking about? I'm a complete loser." And she says, finally got a little tough with me. She said, "Listen, buddy, you're not the only person in this family who's ever had trouble." She goes, "Let me tell you about your babcha." Babcha is my Ukrainian grandmother. My father was Ukrainian. And she goes, "Your babcha was basically a superhero." And I go, "What are you talking about? Babcha's a superhero." I only knew her, she actually died in the same crash as my father. So I only knew her for a couple of years. And I only knew her as the nice lady who made apple strudel. Because as a chubby kid, that's how you identify people, by what pastry they bring to the house. And I was like, "Okay, what did she make? Radioactive apple strudel, right? And she got these superpowers." She goes, "No, wise ass." She goes, "When she was your age, she wasn't worried about obesity. She was worried about starving to death. She lived in Ukraine. And at that time, Joseph Stalin was the dictator of Russia, the Soviet Union, and he was trying to force communism on the Ukrainian people. And in order to break their will, he took out all the food. It was one of the most horrific events in human history, is the Holodomor, the Ukrainian genocide, and millions of Ukrainians starved to death. What my babcha and her family had to do was unspeakable to survive. And after about a year, he relented. And they started to get back on their feet. And just when they thought they were turning a corner, Hitler was now master of Germany. And in 1941, he unleashes Operation Barbarossa. It's the largest land battle in the history of the world, and Babcha's on the front line. She's quickly captured, her family's murdered, and she's a slave for the rest of the war. And I'm hearing this, and I'm saying, "My God, my Babcha's a slave? Okay, working for the Nazis? Unbelievable." And I said, "How did she survive this? What did she do?" She said, "This was your Babcha's superpower. That no matter what was happening to her, she controlled her response to the adversity. She was always going to be in control of her response. Hitler, Stalin, didn't matter. She was going to have a great life. That was her pledge, that she was going to one day resurrect the Boris family. We would not be erased from the pages of history, and we'd go on to have a great life." You understand? And sure enough, a few years later, Hitler commits suicide. She's freed by hook and by crook. She gets to the United States, first day in the United States. She's a single mom, she's got 2 kids. Come on, she must have been terrified. She was sleeping on a park bench in Philadelphia, homeless, penniless, couldn't speak the language. She wasn't terrified. She believed that this was a good start. Because she had a chance now. Let me tell you, a chance is all you need. And year after year, she built herself up. And when she finally passed away, she owned a house, a small business, she had 4 grandkids, and had a great life. And that's how she beat Stalin and Hitler. That's how this one woman stood toe-to-toe with evil. I was amazed. How could I be related to such an immensely powerful person? I was also terrified. I can't be a bum now. I can't go into the abyss, because then Stalin and Hitler win. I have to do something. But how? I'm a total loser. And that's when my mom said, son, you gotta go play some football. She put me into Sayville football, all right? And I was probably 8th grade, the worst Sayville football player ever. I didn't even have a belt for my pants. Every time I got hit, my pants would fall down. I was droopy jaws. That was real great. Okay, good confidence. And I couldn't do anything. We had to run a lap around the old middle school, and I couldn't do it. And I was throwing up. Doritos are falling out of my pockets. And Jason Maspiro, the captain, guy was like built like a Greek god. He comes running, grabs me. I'm the chubby kid. He goes, "You're not quitting. We're getting through this together." And he dragged me across the finish line every day. Until he didn't have to drag me across the finish line every day. He says, and you guys heard this before, we're brothers forever. When you put on that uniform, you're a brother forever. Walk down the hall, people say, "Hi, Steve." Everybody say, "No, Steve." It was my what? My brothers became my new family and got me through so many hard times. And the coaches, McKnight and Valente, they're in the office. They call me in one day. I go, "Oh my God, I'm going to get cut. Right? I'm the worst player ever." They said, "Good job. Keep working. We love you. The work is going to pay off." And it inspired me. And slowly but surely, I moved better, a little bit better, a little bit better. And my mom, she's crazy. She starts saying, "Hey, you're going to get a scholarship. You're going to get a girlfriend. She's going to be your wife. You're going to have a good life, just like Babcia Eva intended." And at this point, that was still completely ridiculous. But sure enough, all her crazy plans started to come true. And then one day, 16 junior year, spring, April 15th, Mr. Budeman, the principal, if I remember Mr. Budeman, old timers here, knocks on the door of my class, of the Mr. Dove's tech drawing class. What the hell's tech drawing? That was the class. "Steve, come on, we got to go to the office." I go, "Oh my God, this is it. A college scout must be here," because that's how they did it, right? Skipping down the hall, go into the office. He says, "Sorry, Steve, there's no scout. There was a terrible accident. Your mom's dead." And just like that, I was at the abyss again. I was getting ready to go down West Sayville Dock, take a long walk off a short pier. Why go on? And you know who saved me? This saved me. All the people in this room saved me, okay? From Coach DeLuca, he didn't just teach me how to block, he showed me how to food shop. Imagine that, okay? My teacher, Miss Buckmaster, showed me how to do the chemistry, gave me $20 to go to a movie. My one girlfriend, Nicole Lorenzo, I had to take a driving test. Her mom gave me the minivan to take the test in. I immediately crashed it into a telephone. So, sorry. That didn't work out. And the Note family. You have no idea what the Note family used to do. They have like 19 kids that just kind of walk in out here. They fed me so many times, and they just loved me. My buddy Keith slept over my house all the time. When I was in dark times, we sat up all night talking, and person after person after person stepped up. I can't tell you how many trays of baked ziti magically appeared at the door. Okay? It's all important. And this Brothers Forever stuff, it's real. You understand me? It's real. Because in your life, the one thing I'm going to promise you, adversity is coming. And if it ain't here yet, it's on the way. It's stuck in traffic. This is Long Island. It's on the 95, right? 495. It's coming. And you know how you get through adversity? With your brothers. With love. You guys undefeated. You know what's really undefeated? Love. History of the universe, love never fails. And don't forget that as you grow up and get older. Always stick to your love. A lot of stuff in the world trying to pull us apart. Trying to teach us to hate. Who to hate, what to hate, this hate. Love. Stalin and Hitler, far left, far right hate, genocide and slavery. Love. This is love. This is your family. And anytime you get in trouble, you don't care. You're going to have this big game today, homecoming. Somebody's going to screw up. Quarterback's going to throw a pick. Somebody's going to do something stupid, jump off sides. You don't care. Look to your left and look to your right. That's your brother. You fear nothing when you're surrounded by your family. You can't fail. I am so proud of how you guys are doing. I can't wait to see the game today and your future for the rest of your life. Kick ass.